and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk to you all about my February favourites. To talk to you all about my February favourites, but before I do, if you are new to my channel and you like these kind of videos, then I would love you to stay around, so please don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. So the week before last was half term and we had a really lovely half term. We did lots of activities. We went to visit some friends and family in Wiltshire, Devon and Dorset. So on our way down to Wiltshire, we stopped at a place called Dinton Pastures. Dinton Pastures is a big country park and it has a massive, huge adventure playground in it, which Ted, Howard and I all really enjoyed exploring. We have been there before and we did have a really good time the last time we went there. So we decided to stop there again, and I did a vlog of that which I will link down below in the description box for you. So then we drove on to Wiltshire and then we went to Devon and we stayed in a big house in Devon. It was huge. I think it had about 14 rooms in it. It had a big kitchen and a big dining room as well, and a big TV room for the kids to play in. There was about 24 of us. 9 of those people were children. My husband's friends, uni friends, all meet up once a year in a big house. They call it Philby because that was the place where we used to meet up, but now we call it Alternative Philby because we go to an alternative house. But I think we found a nice house that we're going to probably stay in now for a long time. Each time we go away, we'll probably go and stay in that house. We did have a really good time. The house was ginormous. The kids loved it. Ted had a great time. I didn't really see him much that holiday. I have to admit, he kept going off with all these kids and I didn't really know where he'd gone, but he was quite safe and perfectly happy, so I didn't mind too much. We did lots of things while we were down there, and I have done a big vlog on that, which I will link down below again in the description box for you. So the first day we went and explored the town, and we stayed in a small town called Ilfracombe, which is a seaside town, and it was a beautiful little town to stay in. It was a bit run down, like most seaside towns in Britain. I don't know about other countries, but a lot of seaside towns in Britain have been neglected over the past few years, probably about 20 years. My friend did say she saw a lot of flats being built and there was a lot of regeneration going on in that area. So hopefully it will, the trade and the tourism will pick up again. But it was a beautiful part of the world. We had a lovely time. So we went down and visited the town and the harbour on the first day, and then we went to, the Coombe Martin. I always want to say Martin Coombe, I don't know why. We went to visit the Coombe Martin Dinosaur and Wildlife Park, which the kids and I absolutely loved. It was more of a wildlife park than it was a dinosaur park. They had a few statues and animatronic dinosaurs around, but there was more wildlife in there than there were dinosaurs. Howard did say he thought it should be called a wildlife and then some dinosaurs park, and whatever. Anyway, we had a really lovely day there. Ted had a great time. We got to see lots of different animals. So we got to see some sea lions and some meerkats, and we got to see talks on those as well, which was really interesting and really educational for Ted as well. So I was really pleased about that. It was definitely a great day out. It was slightly on the pricey side, I thought, for what it was. But it was a good day out and it was well worth a visit. And I have done a vlog on that as well, which I will link down below in the description box for you. Then on the next day, we decided to climb to the top of a hill in Ilfracombe, which was a bit of a mission. The kids all decided to run up this hill, Ted included. I was a bit more cautious, being the ripe old age of 38. you tend to get a bit more cautious as you grow older, don't you? But anyway, yeah, we got to the top. I made it to the top. I was rather proud of myself, but it was very scary at the top of that hill. So I decided to come back down very quickly. And then on the Wednesday, we went to a place called Wiltshire, which has a really lovely beach. It's a small seaside town, and it was a beautiful beach. It was a much bigger beach than the one in Ilfracombe, and it was a really lovely little town. We went and had a look at the beach, and then we went to a cafe and I had a cup of tea. Ted and Howard had ice creams, and we had a really lovely time there as well. And then on the Thursday we moved on to Weymouth, so we then moved on to Dorset to visit Howard's parents, and we had a really lovely time visiting them. So on the journey down, we went to a small town called South Petherton. It's in Dorset, I think, just inside Dorset. It's a tiny little sleepy village, but it had like one country sort of style pub in it. There were lots of gluten-free meals on the menu, so I was really happy. I was ecstatic. I was like, oh my God, like that. And I was talking to the bar lady, and she was like, you don't expect to see this, do you? I was like, no, I'm so happy, like that. I had a beautiful salmon, chorizo and butterbean sort of stew thing. Oh, it was lovely. It was really nice. And Ted and Howard, I think Ted had fish fingers and Howard had like a burger. But we all had a really lovely time. We had a little walk around the village afterwards as well. I mean, it wasn't that big. It was probably about a 5 or 10 minute walk around the village. We had a look in a couple of the shops as well. But it was a beautiful little village, and that country pub is called the Brewer's Arms. If I can find them on the internet, I will link them in the description box below for you. So if you are ever in that neck of the woods, I highly recommend you go and visit them as well. And then we finally made it to Weymouth, our final destination, and we stayed in a really lovely little flat with an amazing view of the sea. So it was a 4-storey flat. I think it had a basement, a ground floor, a first floor and a second floor, and we were right on the top. And if you went out into our living room, in our living area space, you could see right out over the sea. It was such a beautiful place, and the 3 days that we were there were really bright and sunny as well. So we were really pleased. The flat was really beautifully decorated, and it was just such a nice little flat to be in, a nice space to sort of relax and chill out in as well. So we had a lovely time there. And if I can find that flat, I will link it in the description box below for you. So yeah, so we stayed in Weymouth. So once we'd settled in and we'd had a good night's sleep, we then met up with Howard's parents in a place called Farmer Palmer's. It's a big place for children and adults probably. It has lots of different activities in there for them to do. So we got to see a cow being milked. We got to meet some pigs as well. We got to go on a tractor ride. We got to feed deer. So it's like a farm that opens up for visitors to come and look at the animals and do all the activities. And there's little tractor rides for kids to go on as well. It was a great place to visit. And again, we would highly recommend that if you are in the Dorset area. That's a great activity for children. And then the final place that we went was the Dinosaur Museum in Dorchester. This was a good place. I think Ted is still a bit too small to appreciate it, and he still loves his trains. He's not as keen on dinosaurs as he is on trains, I get the impression. There were some big sculptures of dinosaurs in the museum. There was lots of information on the walls. Howard said it's probably geared towards kids who are probably about 8, 9, 10 rather than Ted's age. So yeah, but we still had a really lovely afternoon. It was a great place to go and visit. And then finally, after that, we went to one of my favourite restaurants in Dorset. Yep, it is the Dorset Burger Company, and they sell burgers for dinner, and it's just one of the best places to go and visit if you want a really nice burger to eat. It's situated just off of the main strip of Weymouth, right near the train station actually. And it's a really lovely little restaurant, and all they sell is burgers. But I actually had a piece of chicken this time, which it was called Mambo chicken, and it had a piece of pineapple on the top. Oh, it was so yummy. And I had that with their bubble and squeak, because I can't eat their chips because they fry gluten in the oil, so I can't have their chips. But I had it with their bubble and squeak and some coleslaw, and I was one satisfied little girl after that. My stomach was full and I was really happy. And that was the end of Weymouth for us. Then on the way home, and this is the final part, I promise, we went to Moors Country Park, and we went on the steam railway in Moors Country Park, and we had a great time. Ted loved going on the steam railway. I have realised that my son is a massive steam train fan. I probably realised that a very long time ago, but he really loved going on that steam train. We haven't been on one in a little while. The last one we went on was at Christmas, when we went on the Chelmsford Miniature Railway and Barnard's Miniature Railway to see Father Christmas. They were really good days, but I think Ted has been missing his steam railways a little bit. So yeah, we got to go on a steam railway. It took us all the way around the park, I think, and it has 2 stations in it. Again, it's a really great place to visit, although the car parking is rather expensive. But when we were sat in the restaurant, Howard and I were having a discussion about the car parking and the prices, and there was a lady next to us who said, there's a car park about a half an hour walk away, that if you park in there, it's completely free. And I was like, Howard just said, but we've got, like, Ted would never make it. And she was like, yeah. And I just thought the car parking situation in that country park is a little bit unfair. They charged us £7 for 3 hours, I think, which is really expensive. And it's not even the best car park either. But that's my only gripe with it. The food was nice, but that was slightly expensive. But the train ride was really reasonable. We don't go there very often, so occasionally I think it's okay to spend a little bit more on car parking. But yeah, we had a really great time there as well. Ted loved the railway, we loved the railway as well, and then we drove home, and that was our half-term week. So all of the videos I've mentioned for our half-term week I will link in the description box below for you too. While we were away, we also brought Ted a little toy. After we'd been on the steam railway, Howard had found this whistle in the gift shop, which we weren't too sure, because it was wrapped in cellophane, what it would sound like, but it actually has a very cool sound, so I'm going to try and do it now. It's completely made out of wood, and it makes that really cool sound. We weren't sure, as I said, when we bought it, what sort of sound it was going to make, but it made that sort of sound and we were really pleased. Ted absolutely loves it, and I think he's going to start using it when we start building some more brio, probably next weekend. It's going to be a noisy weekend next weekend. So that was a toy for Ted that we brought on holiday. So on to food, and the first item that I found this month is this Flora Freedom, and it has coconut and almond oil in it. So it's a coconut and almond margarine, I'd say. It's not like margarine, I'll show you it. It's quite white in colour. So I think it has coconut oil and almond oil in it. It's not 100% coconut oil and almond oil, and there is palm oil in it as well. But there's only a small amount. I have tried this on rice cakes, and it was really nice actually. It does say on the front to try it with peanut butter on toast, but obviously being gluten-free, I can't have the toast. So I might try it with peanut butter and rice cake soon and let you know how it is. I have also put this in Ted's sandwiches as well, and he hasn't really noticed the difference. It has got quite a sweet taste to it, but that's the only thing. Apart from that, it just tastes like margarine to me. It wasn't too expensive, but it was on offer when we got it, so I think it was like £1 or £1.50, but normally I think it's about £2.50, and it isn't a very big tub either, so slightly on the pricey side, but I always find that these sorts of foods are really, but well worth a try if you can find it in your local supermarket. The next product I've been really enjoying using this month is this bone broth protein powder. It's by Ancient Nutrition, and it's not cheap, I have to say. It's quite expensive for what it is. I think this tub cost me about £50. I was using the bone broth tablets, but I actually find that before that I was using the bone broth powder, and I actually find the protein powder a lot more effective than the tablets, so that's why I've gone back to using this. I'm using it in very small amounts, so I'm not using the recommended whole scoop because last time I ran out of it very quickly, so I'm only using half a scoop now, and I have this in some oat milk or some coconut milk in the morning, and I'm finding that my spots on my skin are a lot better. I normally suffer with spots around my chin, and I'm finding those to be disappearing now, which is good, and also I'm finding it like I get quite tired after meals, but I'm finding this is not making me as tired after meals as well. Bone broth is a really ancient food that we used to eat many years ago, and it kind of got forgotten about when gravy granules and packet food came in, but I think it's making a resurgence now, and I think it's becoming much more popular again. I do also make my own bone broth as well, so I cook a big bone that I get from my organic butchers in the oven, and then I put it in my slow cooker for about 8 to 10 hours, and then I just spoon it out and put it into like freezer containers, and then I have it in food, or I'll have it as a drink with Marmite as well. So yeah, so I definitely think bone broth is making a comeback, and I definitely think we'll be seeing more products like this. This is delicious, but I personally don't think it's worth the money for what it is really, but it's helping me, so the final food product that I've really been enjoying this month are these chocolates by Adams. These are cold pressed chocolates that are organic, and they add other ingredients to them. So this one is hazelnut and blackcurrant, and this one is gojo berry and pistachio, and these are great for helping to aid your digestion, and they're also great for boosting your immune system as well. So healthy chocolates. They weren't cheap, however. Originally they were £6.99, but they were reduced to £3.50, and there's only 82 grams in the packet, which I think is slightly on the pricey side, although as my husband said, we were on holiday, so we're allowed to treat ourselves every so often. But these were delicious. I bought these from the Delicatessen in South Petherton. It was a tiny little shop that had like a little cafe out the back and stuff. It was lovely, but everything in there was on the slightly pricey side. So if I can find this product though, I will link it in the description box below for you. As I said, it was delicious, and if you can afford it, it is worth a try. So on to my final two products, and this month when we went on holiday I left my shower gel behind at my friend Kate's house, which I was quite upset about. I had to borrow my husband's for a little while, so I started smelling like him, which is always a bit weird. I've done that before, and I always think he's around me when he's not there. It's really weird. Anyway, so I found a health food store when we were in Ilfracombe in Devon, and I saw this in there, and I thought I'd give it a try as I'd left mine behind. This is again Faith in Nature. I've mentioned this company before in these sorts of videos, and I've also mentioned them in my evening skincare routine and videos like that, so I will try to link them down below, but they are in my history, my YouTube history, so if you want to go back and look for those, then please do. And this is the seaweed and citrus shower gel. This is beautiful, I have to say. It smells lovely. Again, well worth getting out of bed for in the morning. I always say that about these products. But it has a very strong smell, and sometimes I find that some of these products that are natural or organic don't really have that strong a smell, but this one seems to have quite a strong smell. It really is a lovely shower gel. I haven't used it in the bath. I might give it a try when I get in the bath with my son Ted soon, but it is all natural, so it has no chemical nasties in it. And I'd say it's well worth a try. It wasn't cheap in the health food store, and I do think that you can get it cheaper online. If I can find it on Amazon, I will link it in the description box below for you. So the final product that I've really been enjoying using this month is this Dr. Organic Active Charcoal Purifying Face Wash. This is a really lovely face wash to use in the morning. It leaves my face feeling really refreshed. I was using another face wash by a company called Sukin, but unfortunately, again, I left that behind in my friend Kate's house. I would forget my brains if they weren't screwed in, I promise you. This is a really great face wash, and for those of you that don't know, I absolutely love Dr. Organic. I think they are a brilliant company with a really great ethos. They try to source as many organic ingredients for their products as they can, and anything they can't find organically, they will always try to source the natural ingredient of. So they are a great company. This face wash I think was probably about £10, so slightly on the pricey side, but I have a feeling this will probably last me a good 6 months, so I think it's worth it if it lasts you a long time. I only use it once a day in the shower in the morning, so that's probably why it will last me a long time. And I really love Dr. Organic, and I will link their website in the description box below for you, so please go check them out. And if I can find this product, I will link it in the description box below too. So that's my February favourites, and that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below. What have you been enjoying this month? I'd love to know, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.